Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at your mailbag questions. You guys have a lot of post-draft questions that you guys asked me in a previous video. Let's go ahead and answer them in the order that they came, starting with this one. How do you feel that we didn't draft any corners? You think we'll sign any in the coming days? So, cornerback was something that was mocked to the 49ers many times in the past couple of days and weeks, to the point that many people basically assumed, including myself, it'd be a wide receiver at number 13 overall, and then a cornerback at number 31 overall, and that actually didn't happen with Javon Kinlaw, and then trading up for Brandon Aiyuk. I think the 49ers are very confident in their current cornerback depth chart, more so than a lot of sports writers around the nation, and a lot of fans around the nation as well. I think their cornerback depth chart's pretty good. Sherman obviously has got at least 1 to 2 good years left at an all-pro elite level. I think Emmanuel Moseley filled in very well overall towards the second half of the season and played very well in the postseason. And Ahkello Witherspoon, honestly, is going to have a chance to go ahead and compete for his backup job, or at least the number 2 cornerback job behind Richard Sherman this offseason. Maybe he works out, maybe he gets better, who knows? I think overall, the 49ers cornerback depth chart is not as dire and bad as people expected. If I had to guess, I think Sherman starts. I think Moseley starts on the outside. Obviously, K'Waun Williams on the inside, and then you'll have obviously Tart and Ward on the at the backside of the 49ers. In the safety spots. I think overall the 49ers quarterback depth chart is going to be just fine. If you wanted to go ahead and look at a free agent cornerback, there's a couple that are still available. Drake Kirkpatrick is out there. Logan Ryan, who's really good. He actually picked off Tom Brady in that AFC divisional round win for the Titans just this past postseason. He's available, although a little bit expensive. Prince Amukamara is getting old, but I guess if you wanted somebody. And then Darqueze Dennard is also out there as well. The free agent cornerback list is full of a lot of either washed-up guys, a lot of old guys, or a guy like Logan Ryan who's too expensive. So I don't think that they're going to address this. I think this is something they look at in the next draft, 2021. Maybe their first-round draft pick could be a corner. There's some really good corners in the 2021 NFL draft. But overall, no, I'm not too worried about it. I think the D tackle and wide receiver were bigger needs. They obviously got their left tackle in Trent Williams. The draft was great for the 49ers, even though they did not get a cornerback. Now, I'll see you guys during this ad break. Go into the pinned comment down below. Do the 49ers need another cornerback before the start of the 2020 season? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. All right, moving on. Next question here. The Phenom 18. He asks, I know it's early, but next year's class appears to be loaded at cornerback. It could be our biggest need. How about that? Another cornerback question. Talking about next year's cornerback draft. Here's the deal. Again, I think next year, like this guy just said, is probably the year that you go ahead and get a cornerback if you're the San Francisco 49ers, and that's not to replace like an Emmanuel Moseley. It's to get ready to replace a Richard Sherman. Sherman at best has 2 to 3 years left as a legit cornerback, and the speed is what's going to keep hurting him, as the speed is going to continue to fall as he gets older. That's what happens whenever you age in the National Football League. If you want to look at the 2021 draft class, are you guys into 2021 mock drafts? Well, the cornerback class, the top 4 are as follow, according to the WalterFootball.com. Shaun Wade out of Ohio State. Shocker, Ohio State, another cornerback, probably going as the first overall in the first round. Although Patrick Surtain, the second out of Bama, is really good overall, and he's probably going to be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback. Paulson, I think it's Adebo is going to be the Stanford guy, and then Tyson Campbell out of Georgia is probably number 4. Though they were mocked in the mock draft I saw, 3 cornerbacks taken in the first round. So there will be some cornerback options going into the 2021 season. Speaking of mock drafts, just for the fun, because you guys are here, I looked at what a mock draft had San Francisco picking, where they were picking, and who they took. At number 28 overall, it means we didn't win the Super Bowl according to this mock draft, which is a little annoying, but I can digress. Michael Parsons, the linebacker out of Penn State. And the reasoning is Kwon Alexander can't stay healthy. So that's why we don't like looking at mock drafts earlier on in the preseason in terms of the offseason for the 2020 season. But I figured I'd throw that in there for you guys just for fun. A question right now, what's the 49ers' biggest need? Is it cornerback? Am I wrong on this? I mean, they don't have a lot of holes overall. San Francisco is as loaded out of a roster as they come. Do they need another cornerback? If they have a different need, let me know what that need is in the comments section. Okay, another one here. Patrick Ray has asked, you think Kinlaw can be as good as Buckner? Yes, I think he can be as good, if not better, and a lot of people have been saying that the past couple of days after the draft. Look at DeForest Buckner's 2016 rookie year in San Francisco. Now, it was really good. 73 total tackles, 18 quarterback hits, 6 sacks. That's great. Now, look at Kinlaw last year. He had 35 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 6 sacks, and 6 TFLs. You see that and you go, okay, the tackles are way down, the sacks are about the same. Is that going to translate to the National Football League? The answer is yes. but Buckner playing on the 2016 defensive line is nowhere near as good of a defensive line as what San Francisco has right now. The 49ers starting D-line with Javon Kinlaw is the best in the National Football League. When you have Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, and then Dee Ford, if they're all healthy as they should be going into the season, that's as good as it gets. Kinlaw's going to have a ton of one-on-ones, whereas at USC, he was getting doubled week in and week out, really. I mean, there was so many times that they have a center and then a guard kind of move over and hit him just to make sure he did not get to the quarterback. One-on-one with Javon Kinlaw is a nightmare. Go look up Senior Bowl highlights if you don't believe me. I think Kinlaw is going to dominate, literally dominate National Football League this year. He has a real chance to be Defensive Player or Defensive Rookie of the Year, just like Nick Bosa was, as Bosa still plays on the outside, but playing alongside the other stars in that 49er defense gives you a lot of opportunities to go ahead and shine, and Kinlaw is definitely going to do that. How many sacks you guys think Javon Kinlaw will have in the season? He had 6 his final year at USC, and Buckner had 6 his first year, as we saw with the 49ers. I think 6 to 8 is likely. Again, interior defensive lineman, it's not necessarily a sack-prone position unless you're like Aaron Donald, but overall, I think 6 to 8 is very, very safe right now for Javon Kinlaw. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. A lot of people were asking in the comment section of my last video where the 49er jerseys that I talked about are, and if you see on your screen right now, we do still have the rookie jerseys available, and they are authentic, they're brand new, and they're hot off the presses, ready for you at chatsports.com/49ers1. So you just put in chatsports.com/49ers1 up in Google search, or we make it easy for you, go into the description box of this video. It's literally right down there. Just click that and get yourself a brand new DeForest Buckner, a Brandon Ayuk, or Trent Williams jersey. That way you can rep that at the next 49er game, which hopefully all the fans will be at because of, what's going on around the world. Let's see, Niners Superfan, he asks, would you have taken Lamb or Jeudy over Kinlaw? And do you think we should have signed Lamar Jackson as an undrafted free agent? Okay, I'll tell you that in a second, but first, be sure to subscribe here to the 49ers Report because the offseason is fully underway now, right? Draft, free agency is over, but a lot of roster moves, some cuts and stuff. There's a lot of things that will happen over the coming days and weeks, so be sure to subscribe here. That way you guys are ready to go and notify whenever we drop a brand new video. But here's the deal. He asked me if taking Lamb or Jeudy over Kinlaw. Pre-draft, I would have said yes. Post-draft, no, not really. Let me explain why. So here's what the picks were in terms of 14 through 17. So we took Kinlaw. Jeudy obviously went to Denver. A.J. Terrell went to the Falcons. And then CeeDee Lamb went to the Cowboys at number 17 overall. And you go, okay, well, you could have had Jeudy. You could have had Lamb. You could have gotten a D-tackle later on in this draft. Could you have? Look at the defensive tackles taken and where they were taken after Javon Kinlaw. The next D-tackle was Ross Blacklock out of TCU, number 40 overall to the Texans. Way down there in the second round. Marlon Davidson, 47 to the Falcons. Raekwon Davis, 56 to the Dolphins. And Justin Matabuki, 71 overall. There just wasn't a big drop-off from the D-tackles. The first two, Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw, to the rest of them. That shows why Derek Brown went 7 overall to the Carolina Panthers, And then, of course, Kinlaw went to the 49ers at 14, and the next one didn't go until 40. I think the 49ers, one, are fine at wide receiver. The depth chart is good. You obviously have Deebo Samuel year 2. He's going to have a much better year 2. And he already had a good year 1, but a better year 2. Hurd's going to be healthy. You got Brandon Ayuk. And obviously, we hope that Kendrick Bourne stops dropping passes and plays very, very well overall. I think wide receiver's fine. And I think now D-line, it just gets even better. Did you need to go ahead and add a defensive tackle? Technically, no. Would we have been fine without Javon Kinlaw? Sure. But did you really think you could get one in the second round? Yeah, I don't think so. Overall, I kind of would have stayed with where we were at, and I think that Kinlaw was the right pick at number 14. Lamar Jackson, I was a fan of pre-draft, but obviously a lot of teams weren't. He was an undrafted free agent, went undrafted, so I guess I was wrong on that one, as a lot of people were, because he was mocked into like the 3rd round, which is kind of crazy. Okay, was Kinlaw the right pick at number 14 overall? If you agree with me, type 1 down below for yes. If you don't, you want a Jeudy or Lamb or somebody else, type 2 down below for no. Okay, a couple more here, and then actually we're going to go ahead and finish up with this one. I'm running out of time. J-Bats, he asked, with Joe Staley retiring, who will become the new heart of the team? I think Kittle would be the one to step up. I think Kittle kind of already is the heart and soul of the San Francisco 49ers, but there are so many talented players that you can't really just pick one and say, that's the heart and soul of the Niners. I would go ahead and do it like this. These would be my 14 captains going into training camp. If I had to pick Kittle, Bosa, Sherman, Warner, I think all of them have earned that right. Obviously, Kittle, we know that he's earned that right. He's the best tight end in the National Football League. Bosa is a young voice, but also a proven voice. Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's only going to get better. Sherman, obviously, is the is the old man on the team, the old wise sage cornerback who's been there, done that, won a Super Bowl. He's got to be a captain, in my opinion. And I think Fred Warner has earned the right to be a captain and middle linebacker. I mean, Fred Warner moving up and down the field, left and right, he was so good last year and did not get the recognition that he should have. Was a second team, kind of a Pro Bowl alternate going into the NFC Pro Bowl. I think he's been fantastic. I would make him a captain as well. But overall, there isn't one player, and Staley retiring, the whole, heart and soul factor, you're losing that, I don't think is a big deal. I think Trent Williams, when he comes in, will be a good teammate. I know he wasn't at Washington, but Washington was botching medical stuff, and he just kind of rubbed in the wrong way. I think he's excited to be here in a brand new overall environment. So I would go with Kittle, Bosa, Sherman, and Warner as my 4 captains. Kittle probably the heart and soul, but there are a lot of leaders on the football team, and that's why they were able to go through the season that they did and dominate and play very, very well, and we expect that going forward in 2020. All right, all the time we have for today on the 49ers Report mailbag. Hopefully your question was answered. If not, then, well, I have more mailbags in the coming days and weeks. All the time we have for today, the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.